start recording now. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Did you hear it through the TV?
Hmm?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we're just talking through here. So when I do this by myself, I'm just like so, and then I'm here. I might have 2 or 3 screens going.
That's good. Did she listen to my song yet?
I don't know. Have you?
No, I haven't.
I'll send it to you, or you can just go on his Instagram.
It's on
Alright.
Spotify
I'll check it out.
and Apple Music.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I'm
On-
famous now. Yeah, I'm famous now. Like I'm not even in a low often.
He's legit.
Wow.
I'm legit. I'm in California like every 3 months.
Wait, really? That's cool.
Yeah,
Hey.
like I'm not what I used to be in high school.
Well, we didn't really talk in high school, so like I don't really know what you were like.
Obviously, I was the cool guy. I was class clown actually.
This is so
I
funny.
was funny.
This shit's
Talk
crazy.
because I.
Oh man. But yeah. Alright, I'm gonna let you do the stream. If I make it home on time, I'll listen to it.
Alright.
But bye. It was nice to see you.
Congrats.
I'll see you later, man.
I'll see you soon, man.
For sure, bro.
Alright. You need me on the show.
Yeah.
Got you. See you later.
Okay. So how's it going?
Well, pretty good. Yeah, like I said earlier, my Wi-Fi is like awful. So if I freeze or anything, just let me know. I mean, I don't know how you can let me know, but
It's like it skips a little bit here and there. But you're.
let's see. I can't hear. It's just I'm trying to charge my phone too.
Oh, okay.
Is this better?
I think so. I don't know. I can't tell, but I mean, I think you're okay. I was streaming with someone earlier and it was awful, but we could still we
Really?
could have a conversation still. But
Okay.
yeah, like it's fine. So it's not a huge deal.
All right. Cool.
I think your stream you're lucky, as in all of my other streams have been bad because my upload speeds have been pretty bad. Don't know why. But when my upload speed is low, then I can't upload this like pretty clear. So I'm really stoked about that. But anyway, yeah. So what's good? We've never gotten to really have like a talk like that, so I'm really excited, and then just see. Shit, that's tight.
Yeah, but you like I can barely. You're like cutting out.
Oh, you can't hear me, or am I
No, I
like?
can like hear you, and then it like cuts out, and then I hear like the end of your sentence.
Okay. A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R S T U V W X Y and Z. Did you hear all the letters?
Yes, I did.
Okay. I don't know. I'm just gonna do my best. But yeah, so I'm just excited to kind of
Yeah, me too.
to see what you're doing, and yeah, I was curious, like, what's up, and when did this all happen, and yeah,
So like, when did I start coaching and all that?
yeah, let's go.
All right. So coaching actually has been kind of recent. I've been doing it for like 3 months now. Um, but so it's what the title is like an online influencer, so like a fitness coach. Uh, I kind of put my own spin on it, and rather than focusing so much on the fitness part, because like yeah, I need fitness, but also like I'm kind of like fucked up, like up here and all that.
Okay.
Can I swear? Is that
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, 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 yeah. It's good. It's good.
Okay. But yeah, so I'm also focusing more on personal development.
Mm.
Um, so I've been doing a lot of personal development and like trying to recruit people to join my team.
Mm.
So kind of fitness and personal, like I'm just kind of
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
trying to just work on myself,
Mm.
my body, my mind, all that.
Mm.
Yeah. So my days are literally like I wake up and I try to meditate and I do a lot of like affirmations, just like repeating mantras in my like to myself and all that.
Mm.
And watching like Tony Robbins speak on YouTube, like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
become my jam. Like he's really I like him. And just like I basically just spend my days learning, like just learning about, like how to control my emotions and how to not let my ego, take over and
Mm.
like take over my life basically and control my life.
Mm.
So I've kind of been learning that I'm in control, and when the anxiety and the anger and all that arises, like how can I recenter myself and be present in the moment? Like, why am I feeling like this? And how can I acknowledge that I'm feeling like this? And what can I do to stop feeling like this?
Mm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what I'm focusing on
Mm.
now.
Mm. So did this all start happening at the same time? Like the.
Yeah. Oh my God. Sorry, I dropped you.
It's okay.
so, so I started coaching, and then my mentor, the girl who I signed up under, she would always talk about personal development and how it's such like a huge thing, a huge part of being a coach. And then I kind of just like really leaned into that because I liked how it made me feel. Like I liked that I was learning how to deal with my depression and all that. So it's like because of coaching, I'm really into like, personal development, and I want to help other people, not
Mm.
only fitness but like also with personal development.
Mm.
I'll learn as much as I can about that so that I can like guide them and
Yep.
help them.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So before, let's not that. So what, I guess, brought you to that, or did it kind of show up, or?
Oh, so actually, okay. I worked as a dog nanny for 2 years, so my
Oh.
job was literally like I would go to work and watch like 20 dogs at a time,
Mm-hmm.
and I would do like overnight, so I would like sleep over and again with like 20 dogs. So, and like for some reason I was still like the most like bitter and like unhappiest person, and like I'm surrounded by dogs, like how can I be so angry,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I just realized like I love dogs, I really do, but I'm not passionate about like
Mm.
watching dogs, like
Yeah.
that doesn't do anything for me, like I'm not really helping anyone. So I felt like I needed more, like I needed to do something that would bring in money, because obviously we need money whether we want to or not,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to also be able to help people. And like I was looking everywhere, like I looked at, and the shelter in Lowell was like hiring part-time, so like I looked into a lot of stuff like that. And then one day I was on Instagram and I found my mentor's page and read about what she did, and then we kind of just started talking, and I was like, yeah, like I think I could do something like this,
Mm.
because I knew that I wanted to get in shape, like whatever, like I wanted to have my dream body, but I knew that it would also help me mentally,
Yeah.
like which like I've struggled with depression like since I was like 5. And actually what I'm learning
Mm.
is, I actually learned this from Tony Robbins, is to change my story. So I'm trying to stop talking about my past and like, oh, I've struggled with depression for since I was 5, like woe is me, So like I'm learning my story
Yeah.
so that I can have the life that I want.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Um. So I'm gonna jump timelines a little bit. I have to take notes so I don't forget.
Oh, I have notes too right here.
That's cute.
Oh my god, I keep going.
So, what would you say the high school you was like? The mindset.
Oh my.
Because being as I think oblivious and all of us kind of like suppressing shit or whatever the hell we're all doing is very different from what most of us turn out when we're past all that. So I was kind of like, oh, she's cool, and you know what I mean. Like it doesn't go as far as that. It's kind of like, oh, she's a cool person, and that's kind of it. Like
oh my god,
she's nice. Yeah.
I was definitely like a mess in high school, and I still am, but like I feel like I'm handling it better now.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, in high school I was definitely very, very pessimistic. Like I barely got by. You know, like a lot of people assumed I was smart and like I was so easy for me, but like I was struggling hard. Like I didn't want to go home and do work. I didn't want to do work at school. Like I was just unmotivated.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it was bad. And I was hard on myself and you know, and I still feel like I'm too hard on myself now, but I'm getting better with it. I definitely am. One thing that I will say is that I've always been open-minded.
Yeah.
I feel like that played a big role in me being able to change, you know, into like who I am now. So that's one good thing. But other than that, yeah, I was a mess in high school. Like I am so happy that I'm like nothing like I was back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't get that impression, but I mean I was also in high school and didn't have heightened awareness, so that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, it took me like years to, I don't know, to get to where I am today. So I'm definitely like really proud of myself. But I also know that I have a lot of work to do, and I'm ready.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So, would you be down to do a? I know this is a stream, and I asked you to do this. Would you be down to do a podcast? So the difference is that.
I was just gonna say like, yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah, hell yeah. So I mean, if I do a live stream with someone for the first time, it's just to kind of get a feel, you know, for where they're at and whatnot. But the podcast is more. So, it's more in depth and it's more focused on, like I know I'm asking you questions, so right now it's like it's almost like an interview.
Yeah.
But then that's totally fine. On the podcast, I do a similar thing, but I really double down on making sure that we cover a lot of ground about a certain topic. So there's plenty of questions that I would ask you that I would actually want you to go way more in depth with, which I wouldn't do here. Some people really go in, but I feel like I would rather save those for the podcast. People really like, they'll download it and just listen to the whole thing, and it's like super empowering for them and they learn a lot of things. So if you're down to do that, that'd be really fun.
I've been like thinking about, because I have a YouTube channel that I like haven't used. I actually made it like years. Do you remember like I was dating Danny? Like when was that? Like I don't know. Like
God, I forgot about him.
And I posted a video of myself singing a song for him. It was so embarrassing. I can't believe I did that. And like I took it down immediately. Like I think you commented and you were like, what? And I was like, oh, like no, cancel that. That's been canceled. I took it down. I was like, no, never doing that again.
Shit.
But yeah, so I've been thinking of like making videos, kind of just like talking about my personal experience and kind of just going through life, dealing with, you know, my problems and whatever, and just hoping that maybe someone will benefit from it. So that's what I've been thinking about doing. Which also I feel like coaching has really kind of like, it's allowed me to like branch out, because it's all about finding your voice and your brand and like building yourself. Like, so I'm learning, like I'm trying to find my voice rather than just like following the crowd and like, what do the people want to hear? Like, you know, I'm just trying to be like my honest, my raw, like I'm trying to be raw and real and just
Yeah, and I
Just,
see that.
you know,
Yeah.
like show everyone my imperfections. Yeah, because like I want people to know, like, I don't just wake up in the morning and like, hey, let's fucking do this. You know, like there are days when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh my god, like you know, give me strength, but you have to get it done.
Yeah, I F with it. I feel that. Um, it's just nice. I always get excited when I just see people empowering themselves. That makes me really
Yeah,
happy.
yeah, and
Um,
I've been trying to like surround myself with more of that energy.
mm, I can throw a ton of that in your direction. I'm so
Yeah,
blessed
that's
to
why I
have
reached
that.
out to you. Because I'm like, I know that you're like always around people who are like so motivated and just always making things happen. And I'm like, I need to get in there. Like, I need to do that.
Yeah, the community is great. Most of it dancers, and now it's become like more musicians and all that kind
Yeah,
of stuff. They're all great people though. Fitness, health related people. That's expanding. Um, yeah, I think my other question is, so like, what? Okay, so you said you were a dog nanny for 2 years. How long did it take
yeah.
you before were you kind of like from the jump? Were you kind of just like, damn, I don't really want to do this, or was it like after some time you're just like, I really don't want to do this, but you kind of just kept going?
So at first, I definitely like I loved the job. I loved like going into work and seeing all the dogs, and like they were basically my children.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved it. But over time, it was kind of just like it just became like routine. Like, all right, get up, go to work, like go see all. And you know, like I worked with people who at so I'm gonna speaking from like past Yasline, I was like they're all after me. Like they hate me. They don't want to work with me. Like, you know, like my supervisor threatened to cut my hours and like I blamed her. I was like, yo, like she's a bitch, like she hates me, whatever. But in reality, like I was bitter. Nobody wanted to be around me, you know, like,
Mm.
and I don't blame them because now that I'm working on myself, like I don't want to be around bitter people, you know.
Yeah.
So like I'm learning that I don't know. I mean, I could have had a more positive outlook on it, but I quit that job and I've been kind of just like trying to find something where I could work for myself, like I said, and help people. So I feel like everything happens for a reason. I know that's like cliche or whatever, but I feel like maybe I had to leave this job because at the towards the end it was like I was just there because I needed money. And it was
Yeah.
no longer like I like this job. It was like, all right, let's go to work. You know, like that's all it was. It was just work.
Mm.
You know, so and I'm the type of person where like I need to feel passion and I need to feel like I need to feel it or like I'm not gonna do it.
Mm.
So so I think that like really played a role in me just like calling it quits.
Mm. Okay. So with the passion statement that you just made, did you know
Yeah.
that? Did you know that while you had that job, or was it something you figured out after? So,
It's something that I like I've always kind of felt like
okay,
even before that job,
okay,
I've always kind of felt like I'm made for more. Like I don't know, I've never been able to keep a job and
yeah,
I think like I used to think it was because I was lazy or whatever, but in reality, it's like when I'm doing something that I really enjoy doing, like I do, I put in work, like I go hard, you know. But if
mm,
it's like I don't know, I'm a Sagittarius, I get bored easily, I guess.
mm,
But I'm learning like not to quit. Like I'm trying really hard to
I see,
just
I see.
fix something, you know, because I've seen like quotes like, "Oh, if you're tired of starting over, like don't quit." And I'm like, you know what? Well, you're right. I'm gonna do that. Like, I'm gonna see this through.
Yeah. Okay, so you've been at this for 3 months, um,
Yeah, 3 months.
and you love it. It's
I
great.
do honestly like. I'm not gonna say that I've like made a complete change in 3 months. Like that's not possible for me, but I've definitely made small progress, and
Mm,
I can see like just things that would have pissed me off 3 months ago. Now it's like, all right, take a deep breath. It's not a big deal. We'll figure it out.
mm,
And like, I'm not in a good place. And
mm,
when I say that, I mean like the ideal place for people, you know, like money, house, car. Like, I don't have any of that.
Mm.
You know,
Mm.
I don't have money. I shouldn't. I'm trying to like stop saying that because I want to like manifest things into my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
But right now, you know,
Mm.
like I don't have the money that I would like to have right now. I have a car that I haven't made a payment on, so if I bring it out anywhere, it's gonna get repoed.
Oh,
So
I
it's
see. I
sitting in
see.
the parking.
Mm.
You know, like and I'm living with my boyfriend's dad. Like I don't have a place to call my own,
Mm.
but I'm learning to like flip the script. Like at least I have a roof over my head. Like I have two legs. I can walk wherever I need to go.
Mm.
And I have enough money where I can like eat and I can buy food for my dog and I
Mm.
can, you know, like get small things that are gonna keep me alive temporarily. You know, like
Mm.
I'm good. Like I don't have everything that I want, but I'm happy with what I
So
have.
good. That makes me wicked
Yeah.
happy for someone to say, like, I have friends like that, so that's like it's a
Yeah.
normal thing, which is great, but it's nice hearing it from someone that's not within the circle, and then just someone that I
Yeah.
have known. And because I think that the most important thing is, I think people are always not happy and think that having more is kind of the answer when it's
Right.
not.
Right.
It's just
Exactly, because
getting
then
this
you're
right.
gonna get what
And
you want, and you're gonna be like, now what? Like, I want
yeah,
more.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
it's good.
I'm learning to be happy with where I am right now.
That's a huge it's a big thing
Yeah, and like I don't know, I'm just like grateful that I found coaching because I feel like I never would have went down this road of like self-improvement and all that if it wasn't for coaching, because in order for me to be a good coach and a good leader, like I have to work on myself, you know. So that's like I've been focusing so hard on like building my leadership skills and just like finding my voice. And that's why like I messaged you about the throat chakra, because like that's what I'm working on. Like I want to like
uh,
express myself, you know, and like
uh,
find my brand and all that.
that's so exciting. All
Yeah.
um well, it's when you said knowing that you have to basically improve yourself in order to be that person that you want to be, that mindset was the one that kind of got planted into my head when I was 16. So still when I was in high school. So that's where
Yeah.
that drive came from. It never went away. It's just it's evolved and has had more substance. And I, because of that, anytime I recognized a personal flaw of mine, I'd always try and figure out what was wrong and like how to fix it. So
Yeah.
it's just cool to hear, because like I haven't heard someone say that where it's like, well, because I was like, okay, if I want to be basically an entrepreneur, a successful entrepreneur who wants to own like an art or an entertainment business that does good things, I was like, that's a lot to ask for. I'm not going to be naive. I'm like, that's huge. And so I have to become this thing. I didn't have a lot of
Right.
social skills, or else I would have tried to talk to you more. I didn't, but
Yeah.
I practiced so much from 14 to still today. Took a speech class in college. I did all these different things. I was making videos and learning how to talk on camera, all this kind of stuff. So I was like, I gotta learn how to communicate. If a leader can't communicate, you can't do
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
also what I'm working on
you know what
now.
I mean? So there's just so many elements to make a good leader, and like mental
Yeah.
stability was a huge one for me when I noticed that I didn't have mental stability. And not like I'm insane, but just like the meltdowns. I was like, why am I getting
Right.
overwhelmed? What am I getting upset over all these things? And it keeps reoccurring. So I started to break down all that stuff, and that was my path, my lucky path to always trying to improve myself and all these kind of things. Did I take a note on what I was gonna say? Um, I don't know if you have any comments on that before I jump into what I know I'm gonna jump into.
No, I'm just like we're on the same wavelength. Yeah, I get it.
Dope. Okay. Actually, I mean, I've watched some of your stories. I am not huge on consuming content. I just want to put that out there.
Oh yeah, no. Honestly, like before I started working as a coach, like I was never on Instagram ever.
Yeah.
So it's like the weirdest thing that I would choose to go into like, oh yeah, I'd love to be an online influencer. Like
Yeah.
I'm never online.
I was like, how long has this been going on for? When I saw that, I was like, what the heck? No, but it gets me excited because it's dope. If you have like, I mean, you already have, you can be in front of the camera and you talk. You could talk and you bring the energy and all that stuff, and you're raw and all this kind of stuff. So there's all the elements are in place, which is amazing. So what I was gonna say, oh yeah, and I was like, oh, like exchange business stuff or whatever. So I think some backstory. So I reached a point in my life where I was deciding on a lot of things. I'm really happy. Like I have a peace of mind. Everything is like it's right internally. Like I could die happy. I used to never be able to say that, and I haven't even accomplished a lot of things I want to accomplish. So
Yeah.
I'm still hungry to do mad things, but I'm really happy with myself. So I have things kind of like split up into three categories when it comes to work, right? Yeah. And I wrote about this a long time ago, but I don't think it's changed since then. No, it hasn't. I wrote a blog called How to Successfully, I think like accomplish or execute your plan A or something. Because I feel like everyone has it backwards. Everyone's like, oh, I need to have a backup plan or whatever. I'm like, I think if you know how to build a plan around the A, and everything will, like, you work backwards.
Yeah.
And then it'll make sense like that. So I am working on the personal brand, which is just, authenticity, mental health, holistic health. Later down the road, I'm going to be fusing that with entertainment. But I just don't want to do that at the moment. So like dance and music and whatever else might naturally come out of me. But those two I feel the heaviest for. That's like the personal brand stuff. And I want to be able to do that. I want to be no friction. So this is different. So this is it's different from like the business that you're doing, but there's going to be a lot of similarities. So the main thing for me is that I don't want any friction or any transactions. I don't want that in my business. The only time a transaction would make sense is maybe it's like a event, like a big scale event, or like merchandise. But other than that, everything else is no friction. And the reason I'm a fan of that, and this is something that you could take in, is people, their psychology is like, if they feel like money's involved on any level, and if they can sense that, depending on the language that the person is speaking, the intent behind it, all that kind of stuff, whether it's someone like, oh, like sign up for my course, or like become this, or do that, or do this, that for sure turns off some people right away, and it takes away from your brand and your message. So, and I got to practice this in real life when I did like a Hannaford contract work for like a month and a half. And so I was like, okay, so I have to get people to download an app. There's no money involved, right? But the thing was, I would walk up to people. I was like, I've talked to mad people, and I wasn't under like heavy surveillance or anything, so I didn't have to really force it with numbers. I didn't have to sell people. I just had to let them know what's up. And I would change my approach when I would talk to them. First, I tried something by the book, then I was like, forget that. Then I started doing things my way, and I did things here and there, and I started to learn behaviors and like people getting triggered and stuff. And I was like, okay, I was like, how do I come off as someone who doesn't trigger something in someone's brain to be like, no, it's okay, I'm all set. That, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, so I kept playing around with that, and so the rejection thing became normal. I was like, oh, it's whatever. And then how would I get people to listen? Like, how do I have to talk? My tone. And as I got improved, less people were like weird about it. So it really, the tone of your voice is really, really important. But I just tried to have like a normal conversation with people. And that always worked. Okay, so basically back to like what I was gonna talk to you about, like with the friction thing. So I don't try to like sell anything. I'm not a salesperson. I don't think it's even in my heart to be a salesperson, even if it's for a good cause. I'm just not. I don't know why, it's just not for me. But do you watch Gary Vee, or have heard of him?
No.
Okay, cool.
No.
That's fine. Then you have no idea. So then this information. So he's also in the realm of like Tony Robbins and stuff. His style is different and whatever. So I've taken a lot of notes from him. I've been practicing some of the things that he already has been practicing without knowing him, and then learning more things from him and refining things I already knew. So the no friction business and the the jab, 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 right hook is like,
Oh, I have heard of, you said the jab, 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 right hook, and I talks about that all the time.
yeah, that's like a huge thing. And so it's
I'm like trying to learn that, trying to master that.
yeah, it's more
It's
just
so hard.
it's more about like remove business from you as someone who's trying to be successful. And this is just, it's, you don't even have to do it this way. I think it's just like another point of view, because you could obviously be successful doing it exactly the way that you're doing it. This is just what's different for me. So because I don't want friction, I don't want to charge for anything. And so I'm like, okay, well, how do you make money off of that? Well, it's like there are already places. Well, this has existed for a while. It's like, getting sponsors, advertisement, affiliate marketing, all that kind of stuff, where it's not direct. It's just once you can push numbers and you build brand loyalty, that long-term investment and getting your foot in the door is one of my favorite things to say to people. I'm like, look, the most important thing, like, you can't be picky. I'm like, the most important thing is you gotta learn how to get your foot in the door. There's so much psychological stuff that I could talk to you about over time. And so my biggest thing was, if I want to learn how to help people, I used to only be around positive. There was a time where I only wanted to be around positive people because I wasn't in that growing up. And then I reached a new place where I was like, well, I have to be able to help the negative people too. So I was like, okay, I need to learn how to speak people's languages. I'm like, how do I get to really penetrate someone? I was like, I gotta learn how to listen. And it didn't just happen like that. So I'm kind of just jumping from, I'm giving like the general idea of stuff. But brand loyalty, and just listening and being a person first that has zero interest in trying to make any money off of anybody will make sure that you last way longer in this game. And I like to call it a game. So when the economy gets tough and stuff like that, so I'll give you an example, ain't nobody trying to get no fitness anything, or there's certain things that are just off limits. People are trying to eat now, right? So you got to think in that mindset. People need to get what they need to get. Now if you're charging something that's expensive, and I have yet to have discussions with business owners that I do know that had to deal with like recessions and stuff like that, but in order to survive and to continue to penetrate is making sure that Yasline, the person / the fitness and all that, the wellness, is always before the business and the coaching. Because if you can do that, then you can transcend and penetrate anything. And I know that this works because I've done it for so long and I've been trying to figure it out. And then I was like, let me try to monetize now. And I don't want to sell anything, so I just, like, even right now, my stream says like Amazon Prime and like Patreon and stuff like that, and that is what it is. So I'll ask people and let people know. I try to paint the picture and help people understand, like, hey, like, if I was able to help you in any way, or if you feel like what I'm doing is important and you really believe in it, feel free to support me in this manner. So I have a Patreon, and that's, which I feel, do you know what that is?
A what?
A Patreon?
Yeah, I was thinking about it. It's like the $5, and they what do they do with that? I don't know what they do with it, but I saw that you had that on your page.
Okay. So
that's with Amazon Prime though.
So there's two different things.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I don't have.
Okay, so Patreon is it's a monthly, so people donate to a creator. Yeah. Monthly, it's reoccurring, and there's different tiers and
$5 or whatever they want.
Any amount.
Got
it. In exchange for I give a little something, right? And so for me, I knew that when I would get into this, because I wanted to do this for a few years, I was like, I don't want to create extra work for myself. I also don't want to be like a puppet, in the sense of like what do you guys want, or this, like that. Like, I'll ask, but I know intuitively what I want, and I don't want to create extra work to take away from. I need to have the freedom to move intuitively to do what I feel like I need to do. Not, I have an obligation to fulfill this thing because they're paying me $500 a month or something like that, right? So I knew that I didn't want that. So it took me a while to finally get to this space. But it's a no friction thing, where it's like, if you genuinely believe that what I'm doing is super legit and I was able to make that impact, then feel free to support. And I have the support, which with the first Patreon, I was like, woo, like I lost my shit. And because it's literally like people are literally at this point, it's like, oh, people are paying me to be me. So
Oh yeah.
I feel
Goals.
called to, and when I say to be me, it's like I literally have zero problems being this person. Like I feel called to be this person, and I'm just letting it be known, and I'm trying to be able to do that 24/7. So if you really believe in it, just know that you have the option to support, and whatever I make or do from this time forward, it's like I don't want to charge for anything. That's my business model, because there's no ask really. It's just an option, and it doesn't scare people away. And so if I give an example of like, I could do these streams for free for a while, and then I could put a price tag on it later. I could. Yeah. But what's more important to me than making money the short term is the other thing that crosses my mind is like when some people start making really good money, like eventually, like in life, like you get raises, but this is like yourself, like your value goes up, and you won't take anything under 10K deals. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. Like I don't want to forget why I do this.
Right, why you started. Yeah.
And if someone's broke, which a lot of people are, and I always compare this, and I'm not saying I'm there yet. Like I'll talk about therapists and stuff. But I know people go to school and they get all this training and can charge X amount, right? Like that's within this society and this structure. I don't want to play by that game. I would actually be directly disrupting it without people realizing it, because it's kind of like me on the come up, whatever. But if someone can't afford therapy, which is a lot of people, there has to be a filler in that gap. I'm like, a lot of us need help, and I know they're like nonprofit places and stuff like that, but I'm trying to just be that person and be that example. And I know that there are other people in the business that can do the same thing, who don't charge for anything, but I really want to take it to that intimate level. This would be it, like when being able to one day reach that place where, because right now it's like it's a bunch of friends, and some people do come in here and they share really deep things or really insightful things, or we talk and we build. But I want to be able to be a place one day where it's like someone is legitimately struggling and they just need help. They haven't had that yet, but if I could be that would be fantastic, and that would be like the point of doing this. And then I would obviously inspire other people to do the same thing. But again, it's just never having that friction. It's like, oh yeah, if you want my help, it's like $50 like that. I think what I'm doing is important, and I think that your life is important, and if I feel like I have to put a price tag on it, it's like,
right, it makes sense. Like mental health, I feel like, is really overlooked, and like like I feel like, I don't know, you shouldn't put a price on your health, but I get like not having money and like not being able to afford it, but needing the help, and like when you're stuck, like what do? You can't afford to go see a therapist, and you're just gonna sit there with your crazy depressive thoughts and do, like, so I totally get what you're doing, and I think it's like it's necessary. Like it's definitely necessary. Like you're doing good things. Like I feel like you're really helping people, and like that's kind of like also like watching you, like everything you do, and like that kind of motivated me too to just kind of lend a helping hand with my mental health, because like when I first started, like my coach would always tell me like, just share your story, and I'm like, what story? Like I'm like nobody's gonna be able to relate to me, like, oh, she's so sad and like she gets nervous sometimes, like who cares? Nobody cares. Like you work out now. But like I started sharing my story and like kind of being my true self, and like just really telling people how I felt in that moment, like when I'm posting. I don't, so I try to like plan my post ahead of time. Like, okay, this picture, I'm gonna write this, but then when I go to do it, it's like I feel something completely different, and I just like I post the feel, and people were resonating, like they were messaging me and like, oh, thank you for sharing that, and I'm like, really? Like you like this. So I'm finding people who are like me and like are easy to connect with, and that's what I love also, is just like I'm finding my tribe. So like I'm kind of like finding my people, and honestly, I wish I could do it like just I wish I could help everyone and like not need money. Like
No,
I wish I could just do it, you know? You know
hmm
what I mean? Like it just sucks. It's like it's I don't know.
no, I totally understand. Um, and so I just wanted to share a little bit about that. I think that was like my back. Yeah, that was all brand stuff. That was like I spent too much time on that. But anyway, so that was I'm working on that. That's gonna take a long time, and that's something I'm gonna be building for my rest of my life. And then I was like, okay, well, I don't want to balance this and a regular job for that long because I want the personal brand to be able to sustain me, and sustain meaning like a little bit over the bare minimum. I'm talking like emergency
Right.
money, you know what I mean? So I'd love for that to happen. I don't know when that's gonna happen. If I'm being like legit about it, maybe just years, some years,
Yeah.
4 or 5 years, maybe something like that. Um, but I was like, okay, I don't want to work a regular job of sorts, um, and do that because that's too long with a regular job. And so the other interest that I've always had but never tackled it was just marketing. I was like, oh, I want to manage artists. But then I was like, I tried that really aggressively, and I learned. I was like, okay, that's when I really learned. I was like, okay, I'm okay with being like a manager and like a mom or what. I could do the whole shebang. I could take care of you. But
Yeah.
if you just don't have it in you at that moment to really take advantage of all that stuff, then it just is not gonna
Yeah.
work. And so I learned that with a few
Right.
people, and I was like, fuck. And I was like, okay. Then eventually, I brought it to myself. I was like, I would always tell my friends and stuff. I was like, if I wasn't trying to manage this team and like do this convention and like do this and do that for these people, I could be so successful on my own. I'd always say that, but I'm like, but I love all this stuff. So I had to learn how to let go of everything, and I would do that, over time and over time. And it was hard at first, but things would get easier because I was like, oh, I just have to focus on me, and that's easy. I'm like, it is easy, and it feels good.
Yeah.
It feels right. Um, but yeah, so right now, I've learned a lot about branding and social media marketing, and I'm getting into advertising. Um, Micro content, learning a lot about, and just recently learned how to do stuff with the merch. And I've made sure that I understand all the like the platforms, like videos, blogs, podcasts, and live streams. So the four things. So I have a lot of that, and I've practiced it for a bit, and now I'm helping a dance studio with their online stuff because they really want to start making strides in that area. And then I'll be helping a holistic health center do just mainly just editing videos, but content creation strategy, stuff like that. And I'm helping a dance company that I've rocked with for a long time with their branding and monetizing their stuff. So that's kind of like my next thing that I would be totally cool with doing for a long time, but right beside my personal brand. Until the personal brand is like the thing, then I'm like, okay, now I'm just gonna be like a brand consultant / anything I want, because I still want to
Yeah.
help people. I really believe in, like, a long time ago I used to worry too much about numbers, and not in the sense of like likes or followers or whatever, but like, well, if I'm, there's a lot of people, so
Wait,
if
you got
did I
what did
lag
you say?
did I lag? Okay, can you hear me? I'm good. Okay. Um, so before I was just concerned about numbers in the sense of like, if I do something, I just need to make sure that there's a lot of eyes on it, or else it's kind of a
Okay.
waste, right? So I measured stuff in how many people would see something or go to an event or whatever. Then my mindset changed later, much later. I started to realize the importance and the impact of one-on-one time. One, I loved it on like a personal level. I just never, I was like, oh, like, if I could affect 1,000 people, I'd rather do that than affect one person. But I've learned to understand the value of one-on-one time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just because I've done it so much, and then when I look at it and like I really gauge it, I'm like, I understand now. And that was just like something that time had to show me. And so just doing something like this, where to me this is one-on-one, and even though it's a stream and I'm pretty sure people are sleeping, like whatever, this is gonna get posted. This is more for me than it is for anybody else. So as much as this like a long-term career thing, I like having these talks for my mental health, or not even for my mental health. You could say it for my mental health. I just enjoy it a lot. It's like my thing. So I'm trying to remember where I was going with that. Oh, the content, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm totally forgetting what exactly I was going to say with all that. If you need, I guess I'll just go there. I mean, if you need any help with any of that stuff, I can give you the blueprint of what I know, all of it, and the more I learn, the more I give. Because I know that when I give my time to someone, especially the ones who are kind of like on the pinnacle already, like some people take a long time, like a long time before they break through all the BS and become who they're supposed to be. It's kind of how I see it. It's more exciting when I see someone who's already either there or like are on their way, because it's just like you get to see it you get to see it happen faster. So I'm just like, I'm a speed kind of guy. I've always been speed and extreme.
Yeah, me too. I'm my boyfriend says I'm impatient, but like, I mean, call it what you want, I guess.
Yeah, so I know that when I'm able to give my time to people, to understanding the power of ripple effects and stuff like that, like then you go on to do amazing things. And if I was able to help do that, and then you did amazing things for people, it's like, that's what's up, like that's where it's at. And so quality is really important. Like we all need quality time with ourselves and with other people to really make stuff happen. So we could, if that's stuff that you're interested in, we could either talk about it again like this, or just real life, or just calls. No, that's not true. Like I'll take calls and stuff. I don't really do too much over text. Calls.
Yeah, I'm a big texter. Yeah, I don't like the typing. And then I feel like I don't know, I have too much to say, and it's like I'm gonna read all.
Just like, I'd rather just talk about it. So yeah, I mean, I really appreciate what you're doing, and oh god, I'm so excited. It's just cool. I like when I feel like a lot of the things that everyone else does is always way more tangible than what I'm doing. Like, because your fitness and like what you're doing and like that stuff is it's very clear.
Yeah.
And you could right away just kind of get the community going, and you just do it. Mine is like not like that. It's different. It's not tangible.
I know. So it's like, okay, I was actually just talking to my boyfriend about this, how like fitness is what I'm doing now, but I want to have like other things that I do. Like I want to be able to connect with people on fitness. And so I've been focusing a lot on, instead of just like inviting people and trying to get them to sign up, like I've been focused a lot on like meeting new people every day and like building relationships with them. So like that's where my focus has been on. So whenever like I'm on Instagram, I'm literally talking to people like all around the world, like just getting to know them. So that's really like, I like that about this job, because it's like forcing me to stop being an introvert and like to go out there and make friends. Like it's forcing me to make friends basically. So that's good.
That's what's up.
Okay. Yeah.
Fire. I gotta make sure I remember. Just writing some stuff down. If you ever have any random thoughts, just feel free to share them. I like listening more than I like talking. I like listening and being helpful in the areas that I know I can be helpful in. That's the only time I feel like it's necessary to talk, because I wanted to get that stuff across so that I could be like, this is what I can do for you.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like a lot of people like always talk about how quiet I am, but it's just because I don't know, I just like listening. I like to just kind of sit back and just listen.
I feel that.
A lot of the time, like people think that I'm like sitting there like deep in thought, when I'm just like, I'm really just sitting there watching. Like I'm just listening.
Yeah. That's what's up. Well, I can introduce you to some people, or a lot of people. Um, so there's a woman that I love so much. Her name is Joanne. She's actually one of the people that I'm working for. It's not like a crazy gig yet, but she's one of the people that I'm helping build her online business. So she owns a dance studio for a while now, and she's also huge on holistic health, mental, all that kind of stuff. She's a beast. Like, she's not just someone who is just learning. Like, she knows her stuff, and she's super in it and deep, and like, so this is like whatever side of the fence you stand on. But like, so she doesn't do vaccinations and stuff, but like, I didn't know that. So I think like her kids were having problems with like the school, because like, oh, if your kid's not vaccinated, they can't go to school. And she had to like have all of these things in place in order for him to go to school and not be vaccinated. But she knows it. Like, all of the legal stuff and whatever documents she needs to have, and like ready to go to court. Like, she's ready. I was like, that's crazy. Ready, yeah. So like, she knows her shit.
Yeah, she fights for what she believes in. That's good.
Yeah, she's amazing. So she's someone that I'd love for you to meet, and she's just one of my favorite people. And she's older, so she has a lot of wisdom, and she's gone through a lot of things. Very intuitive person, and she's one of those people. It's like, oh, I hope I'm like you when I'm older, type of thing. She's great. Do you know Mike Keslak?
Who is it?
Mike Keslak of 41st Casanova.
No.
Okay,
absolutely no. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, he is one of the big players in our community. He owns a video production or media company. They just recently got their own spot. He's been doing it full time, 3 or 4 years. Entrepreneur, obviously. We're very, very close. He's an amazing guy. He's always busy because his grind is full time. So he's a great guy. Can link you to him. These are just like, so here's how my world works. It's very simple. I have a lot of leverage. That's like, I use that word a lot, but it's a true thing. And what that just means is like, my word is very, and this is just being aware, like, my word is like important, or important in the sense of like, it's very trusting. So if I throw one person at another person, like, that's the game. Like, that's all it is. There's no like, like, do they have to be suspect of this? Or there's an expectation of like, well, if he's going to link me to anybody, this person is probably amazing. And so there's an auto comfort. If it's a new person within, so I know I've known you for a long time, but if you're like a new person, and if I were to introduce you to someone, then for you, it might be like, but then for them, it's going to be like, well, if he's going to have me link with this person, they're probably dope as fuck or something, right? Yeah. So that's kind of like the world I live in, where if I just throw you at a person, like, it's all good. So,
okay.
Yeah. So Joanne, Mike, and did you hit up Tony, the hypnotism dude?
Yeah. So we were gonna meet up Wednesday, but he has to be in Boston, I think. So I'm waiting for him to tell me like what day is good for him, and then we're gonna meet up. I'm very excited.
Yeah, he's a really good friend of mine, and okay, he's learned a lot about this stuff. He's super like spiritual and like is huge about pushing past the limits when it comes to the mind. So one of the biggest things he's been able to do recently that he hit me up about, he was like, dude, so this girl, she had her peripheral vision, like, she doesn't have peripheral vision, and so she's like, say that again?
Like tunnel vision?
Yeah, yeah, literally. And so like, she's like, oh, she has to take Ubers all the time and either can't drive or just can't drive at night or something like that. But I think it's can't drive.
Right.
And so he did a session with her, and she got her peripheral vision. She's never had it.
Really?
It's not, she lost it and she got it back. Like, she's never had it. And so I was like, bro. And so results vary. They're always good results, but it doesn't mean like you're gonna get some crazy miracle either. But for a handful of people, he's been able to do amazing things for. One of my other favorite ones was we did this at Anime Boston, so at a convention. So one of my friends, he had hypnotized her, and she was like crying. I missed this part because I was out doing something, but when I came back, I saw that she was crying because he had did something about like having a conversation with her current girlfriend, and then literally the day after that convention, she hit him up, and then Tony hit me up, and she was like, I just broke up with my girlfriend, and she was like, I don't like, she wasn't sure like why she did it, but she just knew that she had to. And she doesn't regret it or anything. Like her life's been like great, like this and that. But for some people, like it's like intense for what happens to some people. And I can get deeper into other things about that. But I would, kick it with him. He's a really good guy. He's funny. He's good energy. He will probably bring out the child in you. He's fun.
That's
There's a girl, Julia Sheckman. She lives in New Jersey. She's an entrepreneur. I believe she does what she does full time. She's like a spiritual head. She can do Reiki, and she holds like sessions on her own, all that kind of stuff. And I'm just saying all these names. Yeah.
And stuff, right?
Say that again?
I'm assuming they're all on Instagram and stuff?
Yeah, all these people are on Instagram. I can pass you their way.
Okay.
And then it's either you can hit them up and just say my name, or I can hit them up and be like, so you're probably going to hear from Homegirl, either or. But these are the kind of people that if you can just sit down and have a conversation with. Well, I mean, Julia lives in New Jersey, so that's different. But if you just DM her, have a conversation with her, she's amazing. She's one of my favorite spirits on this planet. Jeff, not those dance people. A lot of dance people. But yeah, there's just a lot of great people. Do you know Angel? Like, he just makes the most sense.
What's his last name?
Escalera. He went to high school with us.
Yeah, I think I had class with him. There was two of them, right? There was like the same name and the same birthday and everything. They were both in my homeroom.
I don't know.
Yeah, I remember them.
So,
yeah, he's like a fitness something now, right? He does something with fitness.
Yeah, so he's the one that I'll be working for in the future, I'll also be mentored by him doing like holistic health and stuff. Yeah, so he has had a business for a few years, and he's recently just expanded into a bigger spot.
Oh, that's awesome.
So holistic health, nutrition, he understands how to work with herbs and superfoods and dynamic meditation, all that kind of stuff. Is just super educated, super focused. Probably I definitely want to say the hardest working person I think that I know of, like, of all time. If I had to really think about
crazy. It. I feel like in high school he was like one of those, like, I don't know, cool kids who was like a hooligan, you know?
Yeah. He knows that too. Oh my god.
I'm so he's doing good.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's someone that if you just get him in your circle, that energy is just great. It's weird. It's weird for people. So I'm gonna say that he's one of the people that, like, it's weird at first. If your mind is not open, it's gonna stay that. It's gonna be weird. But if you have an open mind, you'll be good.
I do. I have an open mind. I'm ready. I'm good.
Cause there's so many people. I'm like, a handful of my friends. I'm just like, y'all just don't understand them. I'm like, y'all just don't understand them. Even ones that I like that are close to me, I'm just like, you guys just don't get it. You know, it's just there's a certain level of, like, awareness and spirituality this man had to get to, and y'all are just questioning stuff, and you're like suspect of things. I'm like, I'm just not, because I get it. But that's just like a fair, like, warning. You'll probably feel a certain energy, and you're gonna be like, but you'll probably figure it out. He's great though, because he's just doing it, you know. And if it becomes something, you know, where, like, mental health and all that kind of stuff becomes serious for you, he's a great person to just have, maybe eventually even be a coach for him, be on his team. He's very, particular about people, but if that's something and you guys are aligned and whatever, then he's a great option to add. You could just learn a lot being there too. He's super open. Yeah, so I'm just gonna throw a bunch of people, in your direction. Vibe with them. Though having like great people around you that are like at your level or just way like on a whole different plane, it's so nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's so nice.
I like surround myself with people who are like go guys. I'm trying to surround myself with people who are doing way better than I am, and like are gonna hold me accountable. Like they're not gonna be unless I do some big stuff, because I feel like that's gonna make me like haul ass and get shit done.
Yeah.
Like am I like?
No, it's true. So from high school until I didn't know what a really positive environment was until I joined a certain dance crew. I think I was like 19. So even though I had my own, and then I was able to join this one, I learned there's a huge difference. I learned so much from that team, and I felt like the happiest I've ever been. And it was different, and I was like, this is not the same kind of happiness I have with my friends. It's not the same kind of happiness I have with my family. It's like, it's something different. And I'm like, and it was it was like everything that I was lacking in all the other areas of my life, and I loved it so much. And that's the kind of environment that I've learned how to cultivate today. And so you'll see it when you see these people, and some of them, not all of them, some of them I really played a huge part in impacting them, and you'll feel it. It's gonna be great. I'm so excited. Just throw you straight in, and just, it's gonna be beautiful. I always feel like there aren't enough strong, and this is just me from saying it from the outside, you might feel a different type of way about yourself, but just like a strong like girl or woman like in the community, aren't enough.
I agree.
Like there just aren't enough. So and I vibe very well with the ones who are strong. There's just not that many that I know of, and it doesn't mean that they're not out there. It's just there's only a few that come into my head that I'm like, I fucking love you, and like you're great. Yeah, it'll be fun. It's all fun. I enjoy what you're doing a lot. Yeah,
I just like, I don't know, I'm glad that I got started. It took me like a few months to just say yes and like be like, all right, I'm doing it. Like, and I was fucking terrified because I quit my full-time job.
yeah.
I had my last paycheck, and I'm like, sign me up. We're doing this. Last paycheck, no regrets. And like, I haven't looked back since. Like, I'm like, I need to make this money. I need to like, people. Yeah. No regrets. I wish I'd started sooner, but other than that, like, that's it really. I say I wish I started sooner, but I feel like maybe I just wasn't ready to start sooner. Like I was supposed to wait those few months, and I started at the right time. And now it's just like patience. Just build relationships, get people to trust you, get to know them, and then you'll see results. So
someone just asked, Carla, my friend, she's like, wait, what does she do? I was not here. And I just told her, but if you want to go in depth with it, you can go in depth with it.
Yeah, I mean, I do online, it's called being an online influencer, but what you're really doing is like you're finding people who are trying to get fit and like look sexy and like eat healthy, and I'm literally giving them like, I give them workout programs that are led by a personal trainer. I give them meal plans and recipes, so they don't even have to like think about like, oh, what am I going to eat today? It's like all there. And it's all customizable, so you don't have to diet. You don't have to like cut out carbs and like do any of that crazy stuff, I tell like my mom is one of my clients, and she's like one of these people who's like, oh, I can't eat bread, or like I have to cut this off, and I'm like, stop doing that. I'm like, you need to eat. Like I get so mad with her. I'm like, you need to eat. Like, but yeah, I give them like meal plans and we have these shakes and they're like superfood shakes and they have like they're amazing. So we give like, people shakes, but there's also like so many other things if you don't want to drink shakes, like
Mm.
you can, you don't have to. Like so I really like it because you pay like one price for the whole year, and the whole year you have like it's like Netflix with workout programs,
Mm.
and you can do them at home, you can do them like wherever you want, so
Mm.
but I just like it because they make it easy for you to stay on track and like follow a meal plan, and the groups, like the accountability groups, because it's literally like a group of people just like, hey, you're the shit, like wow, you look awesome, like so you're like literally in a group of people who are just making you feel so good. Like yeah, that's what I like, the community. So that's like what kind of drew me in, was just like the community, like just how supportive and like awesome everyone is.
Mm. She said, "Oh, help me!" Social media question mark. You mean like already?
Wait, what? Hold on, you're cut off. Wait, what?
So they said, "Oh, help me!" Social media question mark, and I was like, "Well, I mean, it's there on the story, I believe. If you're asking for hers, um, help me in what sense? Like you're like, yo, sign me up, or like what?" Oh shit. So, oh no, this is definitely a scam. This not you. This is something else.
Oh, I was like, what?
No, I just got like a message from like a random ass person. I was like, "Oh, is it because my
Oh.
advertisement worked?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm running an ad right now on Instagram. So I'm learning. I have to learn about ads, so I'm just practicing."
Yeah,
And
I tried to do like promote one of my things and it wouldn't let me. I guess because I was talking about fitness, so they said it had to be like 18 plus. I was like, wow, that's weird.
what?
Yeah, I know. It was really weird. I was like, all right.
Yeah, I've been practicing a little bit here and there. My demographic is mostly women all the time. I don't know if that's weird.
Really?
Social media, my demographic is mostly women.
Maybe
Not
there
not
just aren't
not
enough men.
hmm?
I said maybe there just aren't enough men trying to like
Yeah.
change their
I've thought about
lives.
that too. Yeah. Um but yeah, this ad's yeah, I mean, yeah. It's not an ad that I would have someone else make. This is just testing stuff. Okay. Um but yeah, Carla, like what's good? Anyway, um shit. If you have any thoughts, you could just go. I don't know if I took any other notes. I think all the other stuff I would definitely ask you on a podcast. I think when can we do this? I've always wanted a fitness trainer. LOL. Her social media is on your story. Yeah, her tag is on my story. I was gonna say we should meet up and just kind of show me what it is that you're doing, because I like just
Yeah.
learning, so I get a grasp of like what's going on in the world and then like someone else's strategy slash like what they're doing, and I'm like, oh, that's very interesting, but everyone has a different approach to different things. So I'd like to see like what that's like for you, 'cause it sounds fun.
Yeah, so I can literally work from anywhere as long as there's Wi-Fi. So like whenever you have time, I'm available.
Okay, that's what's up. I'm trying to make that a thing for myself, which is why I want to do all this like branding and helping other businesses and people. I think I would just be like a consultant. I mean, I said that earlier. Yeah, just being a consultant to just help people, but then in the early stages, just helping like really helping whoever has money to pay for this for a while, which I see that being studio owner and then the holistic health place, but then just consulting everyone else and just giving them as much as I can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you stream? You did a stream.
No.
I saw you do a stream. I didn't get to watch it, but I saw you do a stream, right?
Yes. I I've been trying to make like videos for people when they ask me for information. So I've been just like making videos and posting them on YouTube, but like privately, so I can just send it to whoever wants. But like I said, I want to try doing like YouTube videos, and actually one of my friends just told me about IGTV. I've never
Yeah,
like tried,
it's
but
pretty easy.
maybe I'll try that. You know. I'm just trying to do anything that is going to get me comfortable talking to people.
Mm.
You know, because I'm like, that's one of my insecurities is like don't I feel like I get all in my head and I get like the words get all jumbled and everything comes out wrong. So I've been like trying to communication.
Yeah.
um uh, that's yeah, that's why I'm like I just make sometimes I make videos like just for myself, like
Mm.
video, and I don't know, like, oh, maybe I should talk louder, or maybe I should like stop waving my hands like a crazy person. Like, yeah. I've been doing this thing where my videos, I show people how I hype myself up before I make a video. So like I'll literally like I'll be dancing before the video, like before I start talking, or like just like getting pumped, so people see like she's crazy. That's what she does.
Yo.
Like,
I remember that when I was making YouTube videos, because I was like way back, or like maybe two or 3 years ago. My like warm up process was like really random, but it'd be like just being weird and saying stuff and like
yeah.
going in front of the camera and just being stupid and then like dancing and being mad aggressive and then like watching other videos of like I want to embody this person, so I would do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
so
I know. I
funny.
was watching a video. I think it was Tony Robbins also, and he was talking about just like walk around your room and pretend you're wearing a cape. And like I just felt like 20 minutes walking around my bedroom like pretending I had a cape on, like doing the stance, the superhero stance, like I'm the shit.
Carla asked, "Can I ask like a fitness question?" And then she goes, "We are the same."
Yeah, what? Yeah, what's that?
Yeah, so I was like, "You should." That explains why you were so weird. Yeah, I mean, I'm still weird, and I'm just
Yeah,
not making any videos yet. IGTV is a good move though.
yeah.
Every social media platform is a good move, but with IGTV, the convenience is you can swipe up from your story. So if you
Oh, I
post
didn't.
something and you go skirp, and then they get to watch the video, simple. That's like
Oh,
great for a lot of people. So
I gotta try it out. I've been like trying to stay off Facebook just because I have like so many people like just always like, oh, I have no money, or oh, my baby daddy is this. And I'm just like, nope, don't need any of that in my life. So I just like stay off Facebook unless I have to check something like for my group.
I see, I see. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not too big on I'm not too big on anything. I just go in and I'll just check out things here and there. But
Yeah.
Facebook's an interesting place.
Yeah,
You
it is.
can totally convert those people though. I could tell you that much. You talk
You think
about
so?
look, I
I
if go ahead.
Sorry. I was gonna say like I get mad when people like message me like, "Oh, I want to do this," and then they come up with an excuse, and it's like you're the one who wants to do that. So I'm learning to like stop getting mad and challenging myself to see if I can change this difficult ass person.
Yeah.
My like, because my best friend, I love her, but she was one of those people who would always like complain rather than look for solutions. She would just complain. And
Yeah.
then I would like find a solution and be like, why don't you try this? And she'd be like, no, I don't want to. But I was patient with her, I just
Yeah.
kind of like, I'm reading this book, like and I would tell her what I was learning, like while I was learning about personal development. I just finished reading a book
The
called You're a
badass
Badass.
thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
saw.
My God, that book is so good. I finished it in like 2 days. Like I could not put that book down. and I gave it to her because she's been telling me that she wants to write a book.
Yeah.
And I've been telling her, like, she's an amazing writer. Like, she really is.
Hmm.
And she, like, approached me. She's like, you had a blog. Like, you should write a book. And I'm like, I don't want to write a book. Like, you want to write a book. You know? I'm like, you write a book.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, like, what do you write about? And I'm like, whenever you have an idea, just write it down. You know, like, I'm like, you have to write a book because you're going to go your whole life. Like, you can either write a sucky book and be like, all right, that sucked. That was good. Or you can go, like, your whole life, like, what if I had written that book? You know?
Yeah.
And she's like, I would rather just do the latter. And I'm like, why though? Like, why do you want to go to your grave with what if? Like, you know, one of the quotes in that book was, we tiptoe through life hoping to safely make it to death. And it's like, that's so true. Like, we're literally trying to play it safe for what? Like, we're all going to end up 6 feet under, you know? Like, you might as well go out with a bang. Like, what are you doing? Like, so I told her, I'm like, just write the freaking book. I gave her the book to read, and I'm like, she actually just got fired from her job, like, yesterday when I gave her the book.
Yeah.
And I'm like, girl, you better read that book, and then you better sit your ass down and get to writing. Like, this is a sign if I've ever seen one.
Yeah.
Hopefully she gets to writing because I feel like she sells herself short. Like, so I feel like I want to find people like that and, like, just work on them because I know, like, if that's why I'm so raw, like, on Instagram, because if people see me, like, I'm coming from, like, the ground, I'm literally, like, in this hole, and if they see me, like, build myself up and, like, get myself out of this hole, like, hopefully they'll be like, yo, I can do that too, you know, like, if she can do it, why can't I? Like, so that's what I'm trying to just that's why I keep it so real.
I appreciate it. I don't, among, like, of everyone I follow, aside from, like, those people who are, like, super successful already,
Yeah.
there isn't a lot of rawness going on. Enough. Some people will kind of grow a pair and drop something here and there, but I love the amount that you're giving. It's super dope. I was gonna say something before I get to these comments that she's dropping. What was I gonna say? Damn it. Bro, I said converting. Okay, I'll get into that after. Converting FB broke ass and all that stuff. That's just how my brain works. Okay, so she said, it's still Carla. I've had fitness goals for a while now, but I always find myself going back and forth, working consistently towards what I want, but then breaking or becoming lazy. My motivation is random and doesn't last long. How can I keep myself in check and always be motivated? Because I know this is what I want, but something always interferes and ruins my progress. Damn. Before she jumps in on that, seek discipline. I'm just gonna say that because I posted it on my thing the other day because Twitch was talking about how, you know, artists, you know, they lack inspiration and motivation. He's like, well, y'all need to seek discipline because once you have it, work ethic and stuff, you don't need to always feel motivation.
Exactly.
Because if you don't know, like, learning how to continually get inspiration and motivation is very powerful, and you need to know how to keep that juice flowing for yourself. But the other side of it is just having raw discipline. And there's so many ways to gain that discipline. You have to be hard on yourself or go do some sort of program that's going to be hard on you. Okay, you can go for it now.
So I was honestly going to say, like, motivation is like a bunch of bullshit. And I actually learned that from listening to a motivational speaker. So, like, but it's, you know, I don't ever have a day when I wake up and I'm like, all right, I want to get up, I'm going to take a shower, I'm going to work out, I'm going to take a shower, like, it's going to be a good day. Like, a lot of my days, like, when I wake up, I'm like, all right. And I sit there and I'm like, why did I start this journey? Like, why do I work out? At the end of the day, like, I work out for myself. Because I know that if I get in there and I do that workout, if I feel like shit right now, I work out for an hour, I feel like $1,000,000. Like, I come out a brand new person, you know? That's because I'm letting everything out. So I literally, like, I write my why. My why is written down, and it always changes. My why always changes. But for the most part, I'm doing this for myself. So I just have to, if I don't work out today, I'm going to regret it. I'm going to regret it tomorrow. I'm going to regret it all day. It's going to be like, damn, I should have worked out. I should have just done it. Like I don't I don't really like I don't have I don't know how to say it. Like I don't always have motivation. I just like you said, I have discipline and I have a big enough why. So like is your why big enough? And if it's not big enough, then find a new why. You
Mm-hmm.
need a new like
Facts.
I've been
Facts.
yeah, like I've been told a lot by my mentor, like if your why doesn't make you cry or doesn't make you feel like passion inside, it's not big enough.
I love
Like
that shit.
you're yeah, like your why has to be big enough to kick you in the ass and like move you. And it's hard because like especially like owning your own business, you can do whatever you want. You're your own boss. Like I can literally lay in bed all freaking day and be like I love being a business owner, but like what did I gain from that, Nothing. Like I just wasted a whole day. So like I don't know, your why just has to be big enough. You just need to sit down and think about why you really want to do this. And honestly, like if you need a day to rest, listen to your body, like rest. It's okay. Just make sure that when you're done resting, you get back up and you kick some ass, like get it done, Like
Mm.
that's really
I liked.
like
Oh god, keep going, keep going.
I was just gonna say, like today I was supposed to work out and I didn't. I needed a rest day. But
Mm.
tomorrow I'm back at it. I'm gonna work out tomorrow. I'm gonna actually do 2 workouts tomorrow so that I'm back on track. But that's just because I want to,
Mm.
like you do it however you want. But so, like if you feel like you need rest, then rest. But if you don't need rest and you just want to be lazy, like no, cut that out. Like you need to be like remind yourself, look at your priorities and remind yourself why you started.
Mm. I love that because it's true. Um, I don't think I've emphasized that too much with the things I push. I always like go through phases where I emphasize one thing a lot, and so
Yeah.
patience, self love, and whatever. I think I'd say the why is the biggest one because I always talk about the whole my 16-year-old thought process and wanting to
Yeah.
become something so big, and then I started learning about like the environment, other people, people suffering, just more like political things, social things, just are just happening, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? You know what I mean? I'm like, I want to be able to be an asset. If I want to be an asset, I need to go now, right? So even
Yeah.
though I may not be suffering the same way someone else might be, but I know that I have the capabilities to do something about it a little better than they can, then the days that I take off or decide to do this and that, I'm taking away from getting to that place sooner so that I could help that person. And
Exactly.
that my why is that it's so big. It's like I never forget that, and I'm like, okay. And then, but along the way, it's like, oh, I work too much, and now I have mental breakdowns, and I don't have any emotions, like that kind of stuff I had to deal with. So that was a byproduct of being so ambitious and always having that drive to being like, well, there's something wrong here. I'm like, I need stability. I need to feel like a person, because I would always say like, yeah, I don't really feel like a person. I just feel like my life is just going and I'm just watching. I literally was like that for a while, even though I felt like, or even though I was aware that I was doing good things. Um, so yeah, the why is a huge one. It's a
Yeah.
huge one, and I don't forget it. I'm reminded of it every day. And my why is literally
Yeah.
everyone around me too. Like whether it's good or bad, like they're doing great. It's like, well, we're gonna keep doing this, and this is a why. And like when I see someone suffering,
Yeah,
I'm like,
exactly. Like as you keep evolving and like, your why is going to keep changing and that's totally fine. Just make sure that it's big enough to make you get stuff done. Like that's all that matters.
yeah,
Like that's really where motivation comes from, I guess. Just having a big
yeah,
enough reason.
that's true. I think what reminds me of when people have really horrible whys, it's always the food one. Because so I don't eat meat. And so
Mm.
people know that it's like a thing. Most people assume I'm a vegan, and that's because like I wanna be. Um, but people will just tell me like if they change their diet or they tried something like, oh, I was vegetarian for like a week or 2 days or 2 months or 8 months, whatever, and I'm like, well, why did you do it? And I'm like, well, I've stayed pretty true to this, and it's been it'll be 3 years in February, and it's like my why is in real, like it's huge. It's like I didn't even do this for my health, like I didn't. So when I did it for environmental reasons, because I'm aware of that,
Yeah.
and then my
Right.
health kind of came second, and then everything kind of just trickled from there. But I'm like, yeah, if you're just trying to get a beach body or freaking you love animals, and I don't knock anyone, even if you eat animals, like it doesn't matter to me. I don't care about any of that stuff. But when you say, oh, like after watching this thing, like yeah, I can't eat a pig or whatever, and like that's why I want to be a vegetarian, I'm like, I don't believe you. But we'll see.
Yeah.
But we'll see. You know what I mean? Like, how big
Because
is
you
your
feel that
why?
for a few days and then
Yeah.
you forget about it. And
It's
you're like, oh, pork, like bacon, you
yeah,
know? Like,
yeah, basically. So it's like, no.
I read a quote that was like really, really hit me, was like, if you want to change the world, you have to change yourself first. And if you
Yeah.
truly love yourself, like if you truly love yourself, you
Mhm.
would take care of the earth that you live on. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? So like
Mhm.
I feel like if people started taking their nutrition and like nourishing their body seriously, they would like also just start taking care of the world. Like we're so lucky to be able to like we live on freaking Earth. Like that's crazy. It's like such a magical place. Like gravity and like we're not floating off into space. Like like and we're just taking advantage of it. And I feel like people, I don't want to say they hate themselves, but they're very unhappy with themselves, and so they take it out on the environment and like other people, and like we're suffering. Like we
Mm.
need to like just like everyone just needs to go to a spa or something. Everyone just needs to go. I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's crazy.
No, I feel you. Well, man, I made that connection a few years back. I realized the importance and all that kind of stuff because I was like out here trying to like help change people and this and that, and then realizing that, and life has showed me again and again that like everything always just has to start with yourself, and leading by example is the most powerful way, and that's the best thing you can do. And then all this other beautiful stuff that have become like my internal religion, it's just, it always goes back to you, always. um
Exactly. Yeah.
I think one of my favorite things is just random, when the lack of self-love, like everything that we see like around us is just like a reflection
Exactly.
of us. So
Yep. I agree completely. But it's true. Like I mean, like I said, I'm not in the best place in my life, but I can either choose to like sit here and complain about everything that I don't have, or I can just be grateful for what I do have. And like, I mean, I have like I was I was just like, okay, Tony Robbins again. I was listening to him speak today, and he was talking about this guy who like he was in the war and he got like blown up, and he was like missing an arm, and he was like still smiling, still happy, and the lady was like, why are you so happy? And he's like, oh, I'm a righty, because like I guess he lost his left arm. And like the nurse like moved the table, and he was missing his legs too. Like, this guy is like basically a torso. Like that's it. He's just a torso, and like he's still here, like celebrating life and just being happy that he's alive and that he gets another second chance.
mm,
And here I am with all four of my limbs, and like I'm a little bit in debt, and like my life is a little tough. Like, why? Like, what am I complaining about? Like, I don't know. And I'm not the type of person to like say people have it worse than you, because
yeah.
I know what it feels like to have problems. But and it's just like you have to learn how to be grateful for what you have, or like you're never going to be satisfied with where you are in life, no matter, like you said, no
mm,
matter like how much you get.
mm,
Like
mm.
no matter how much money, if I'm not happy, like it doesn't matter. I could be a fucking millionaire and I'm still gonna be like like Donald, not to bring up politics, but
Yeah,
like you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
she's like the richest guy, but it's like he's so angry and bitter. Like, why are you so mad, guy? Like, and then he's just using that money to fucking ruin everything.
oh man. One of my favorite things, like money doesn't, like first, like someone, I forgot where, but like money doesn't necessarily change who you are. It just it just further manifests who you are, and now you just have a little bit more power. So if you're like a douche, then you become a super douche. If you're nice, you become super nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Um, Carla says, "Damn, I see." After all the stuff we said, like the motivation that your spiel that you talked about, and she also said, "My dad called me a vegetarian freak expert today because I always comment on what they eat. He also said someone put poison in my head. So that's how that's going. Maybe I need more facts, or I don't know. I just wish they took it more seriously."
Yeah, I get it. Like I sometimes I feel like people don't take my business seriously, like when I talk about
No,
it, but
yeah. Mm-hmm.
it's like if you feel like you're doing the right thing and it feels right to you, do it. You know, like it's like you said, at the end of the day, it comes down to you. Like, how do you feel about it? Do you feel like you're making a difference? Does it make you feel good? Like, like when you go to bed at night, are you like, yeah, I'm so happy I'm a vegetarian or a vegan and that I'm saving the world. I'm a superhero. Like,
Yeah.
that's, like if that's how you go to feeling, why are you gonna let other people bother you? Like, just live life.
Hmm. Agreed. And so since I know her personally and like he's talked about a lot of stuff with me, I know that it comes from like when you care about people, and you want the best for them. And I was like, I think everyone wants the best for each other, but no one
Yeah,
really knows what's best for like when like a parent or
right.
something tries to impose, or like a sibling was like, well, I think you should do this because I want the best for you. You know what I mean? The same way that
Yeah,
even if what you're saying could be really good, it's just how we are. And I know it could change, but you just have to help people. If you really believe in something and you want to help people see it, then you just have to become the example. And so what's more powerful than words and facts, like the facts, like on a piece of paper or like a video or whatever, is like you have to embody what you believe in. So mind, body, spirit. So when it's here, you have the information, and that's like it's there. See it from you, like that's your routine, and the impact that it makes and the energy that you carry. And if a food like a eating decision was part of that, then there's more respect there, and it's like, whoa, what the heck? And the long-termism of committing to something like a change, it's like, oh my god, that's when you really start to make an impact. And that's maybe I've said this to you before, but like, I've changed a lot, but I've been committed to certain things for a long time. And so to get any sort of respect from anybody, it just takes a while. Like, you put a lot of time into yourself. Like, you can't go
hmm
around trying to convince people of facts. You just have to live it. That's when people pay attention.
yeah,
Like, when you're able to live and manifest the thing that you believe in, and become an example of it, that's when people really start to listen, you know?
yeah. I feel like that's what everybody looks for. Like when you're shopping for something,
Mm,
you look at the reviews, or like
mm.
whenever before you do anything, before I do
I
anything,
do
I
too.
Google like
Yeah.
I look up reviews and stuff. So like just being like proof that it works,
Mm,
like just you yourself living every day and eating the way you're eating, and like that's your lifestyle, and showing that to people how it's benefited you and how it's changed your life, that would be enough to like get people interested. And then, they watch your growth and then they're like, okay, like maybe I'll try being a vegetarian. I don't know. Like I've been following this girl. Oh, sugar. I've been following. Sorry, I
uh,
hit something over here.
okay.
I've been girl on Instagram, and she's been vegan for about like 3 or 4 years. But I've just been following her, and she like posts food. Like the stuff that she posts looks so freaking good. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all. But I've been following her for like 3 years since she started her journey. And it took 3 years, but like now I'm like, all right, maybe I can like eat one vegan meal a day, or at least I've been trying to eat more vegetarian meals. So like just watching her and like seeing how it's helped her, it took, like I said, 3 years, but it's making an impact, whether she realizes or not. It's like it's making an impact on me. And who
Mm,
knows, like maybe she's already converted other people to
mm.
try eating vegan or vegetarian meals. Like, so I don't know, like if you believe in something and like it means a lot to you, just oh sugar.
Charge. I don't know if she disappeared because it's frozen, and maybe Yasline's phone has RIP'd. Well, we're just gonna wait. Said he's always tired and does a lot of labor at his job. Same with my mom. And I just think they would benefit from a better diet, especially my mom. She's very weak. So what I would say is be consistent. Be a walking billboard. So you have to understand this is part of discipline, right? So if you can discipline yourself to drill it into their head because you really believe in it, right? So every day or just often, you just bring it up. I do it. Like, my parents they just don't take it seriously enough. And I always say, I'm like, you have gout and stuff. And I'm like, y'all are like deficient in certain nutrients and you're not getting it. So please don't wait until you guys start having real problems to do something or to get on these pills because you're deficient. That's all you are. So, because I don't see them eat the right stuff. And so I try to push that every day. But at the same time, I reject every single meal that they make that has meat. And so that is me being an example. It's like, no, it's okay. And I appreciate that it's organic and this and that. But I'm committed. Like, it's been a long time, and I'm sorry, like, I'm not just gonna eat your stuff. So I'm committed. So I am the example. I am that thing, and my energy is always right. So I'm good. I'm stable here. Everything that I am, they're able to see, and so they understand that the diet is part of that. And so I have to be that full thing. Right, so they're conscious of it. They just don't put in enough effort at the moment. I know that they at least have made a better effort to buy organic produce of all kinds instead of generic stuff or conventional stuff, because they know that it makes a difference, and that it matters to me. So it's just the consistency needs to be there. You need to be really committed to that shit. And to really stand your ground. If you eat their food, you're giving up. On some level. But even just, eating more of what you feel like is correct and them seeing that makes a difference. And then once you start kind of rejecting their stuff, that's when it gets there. Organic, brainwash that it's bad for you. So then what I would do is I would eat organic all day, every day, and be like, oh, it's so bad for you. Oh. See, and if you were in better shape, and then, you talk about the back pains or the whatever issues that they have, it's just living and breathing that shit. Like, you can talk all you want, but it's living and breathing that stuff, leveraging people. I leverage my community and my friends all the time to convey a message and to get things started. I use their energy, holding events and bringing them to the house, all that kind of stuff. Like, use what you have and be the example and work your ass off. Like, you just can't keep asking for things or wanting things to happen. Doesn't matter how much you give a fuck about anything. That would be nice if I could buy my own stuff. It could, and all you got to do is work. And you know that too. It reminds me of like one of my students where she would say, oh, but I don't like smoothies. She said this on a stream, and then I was like, which do you not like more? Like, okay, she's like, oh, if I don't eat, my stomach hurts. If I do eat, my stomach hurts. And she gets headaches, anxiety, all that kind of stuff. And I was like, all right, well, you have problems with anxiety. I'm like, well, certain things that could help. I'm like, well, you got to get something in your system. If you don't like eating, what about a smoothie? And she's like, well, I don't like smoothies. And I was like, well, which one do you not like more? Would you rather, like, is it anxiety or smoothies? I was like, you have to weigh it out that way. So when I asked you this one time, it was actually through a text, when you were saying all this stuff and you're like, oh, you don't get it. I was like, you clearly, and I mean, you already expressed this to me over another text at the time, says that you clearly would rather be in the situation that you're in right now than work a job you don't like in order to get the things that you want. But you had already expressed, oh, you know, I'm not in a position to be picky. Like, yeah, you're not really in a position to be picky. If you want to do any kind of moves, you have to make certain changes that you're unwilling to make. The same way that, you know, your parents are unwilling to budge on certain things. Because that's just how it is. Yeah, Emily is the same. Well, I'm not the same. Ugh. Yeah, I mean, the solution is simple. Every thing and all of your concerns, there are solutions to all of them. I'm glad that you're bringing them up and you ask about them. So this is why self-love is the key. When you love yourself, it gets easy from there. For more than 5 minutes. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna tell her I love her. I'm gonna bounce for now. But I love you. We can meet up soon and just vibe. Thanks for chatting. You're great. Okay. So I'm gonna end this stream. Cause it's supposed to be over at 12, but you know, OT. And pieces.